Right, hello YouTube, and welcome back to some more From the Depths. Today, we're going to continue working on our heavy battleship. Last time we got the railguns installed, and we got the Sea Whiz up and running. We have, however, had some very good feedback, loads of feedback actually on current design, and there's some things we're going to be changing already, basically. Some of the advice I'm going to take, some of it I think we'll be okay with. So one bit was potentially dropping the turrets down below hull. I think we'll be okay as is. What I might even do is add some sacrificial extra armor plates to protect just this gun specifically. The others should still be fairly resistant to being hit because the side of the hull is a little bit higher than the deck. So I'm not too worried about it for these guns particularly. So I might just add a little bit of extra armor on deck so I don't have to rebuild the whole internal structure for the guns. But it is a good thought, and it is something we can do on future ships. Secondly, one of the other big ones, shells. Someone suggested, I believe it's not Damadoc, it's Zaz? Not sure. That we could mix the shells and the railguns, and I hadn't even thought of that, but he's totally right. So, let's going to quickly check. We still have that railgun saved, right? So probably going to want to take them out entirely and respawn them. Yeah, okay. So it's saved. So what we're going to do is we'll take out the railguns that are in the ship already. Set the front one. And we're going to... Oh, that was the other thing I need to do. I need to build a proper base for them. Because that's way too vulnerable to being destroyed. Build a proper base to hold these... hold the railguns in nice and solidly. So if something does get through there and chip it, it doesn't just knock the whole gun out immediately. But yes, they've suggested... a combination, and this seems quite sensible to me, of the solid piercing rounds we have now, hollow points, which will smash on the surface and will like do impact damage. They'll sort of knock a big clump of blocks out, and disruptors, which will knock shields out. And I had been planning to do some kind of disruptor setup to knock through shields, so these all seem like good ideas to me. So. That shell is saber head, 2 saber bodies, super cavitation base, 2 railgun casings, so it's going to be similar. Oh. So this will be a hollow point head. So this, rather than punching through things, should do a big sort of splat on the surface and transfer all its damage into the target directly. I mentioned still sabos, so we'll see how that looks when we built that shell. Super cavitation base and then twin railgun casings. Just give it roughly similar performance to the other shell. It's a lot slower flying. We may end up changing some bits of it. Reload time. That damage 7,000. Oh, I'm forgetting we're not accounting for the railgun power. It's, what, 28,000 roughly? How we're looking now. 14,000 thump damage and 40 AP. That's pretty good. Does that do better with solid? Worse AP, higher damage, huh? But I think we'll maybe try that because metal has an armor of 40, so if we hit something, in theory, we should knock it out. Oh! Thump damage. No, 635,000, sorry. Not 14,000. Okay. That's quite a lot more impressive. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. And then we want our disruptor heads. So this will be... yeah, scramble shields it passes through, reducing their effective strength. Where is the impeded wide body? 700. Shield strength reduced to 95.5% current value. Really? That's it? Oh. Shields reduced to 0. Yeah, okay, so it'll just completely knock them out. Is there even... Could we even potentially put a secondary charge behind it? If we do secondary charge here... Or would that make it too easy to be knocked out? Because in theory, this is a shell that should ignore the shield and then drop through and... Mind you, it's still moving really fast, right? Like, it'd still be really difficult to intercept, wouldn't it? That's small damage if we keep going up a bit. Still on very high, still very high speed. I suppose it's being reduced quite heavily, but... It's an interesting idea, I just don't know how good an idea it is, or how well it would actually work. Special damage 337, no, it's very low damage, I think we don't worry about that. Oh. We just do railgun casings and then a super cavitation base. 1400. That did quite a lot of kinetic damage. Should I know, we do need a bit more EMP than that. Okay. Then we have the... That should completely knock out a shield that travels through. Will do. Okay, so let's fit these into the gun. We don't need many of them to be disruptors, as I said. Still try to do some of my own decisions, but I am taking advice on these because this is a territory where I'm not so sure on some of it. Right. Oh, I know what I need to do. Oh, how do we do multiple shells? You can normally do like multiple shells in the rack, right? How do we set that? Yeah, there is a way to do that, right? I'm not going mad. That's railgun. I could have sworn there was a way to have multiple shells on board, unless I just manually go across each one and change it. How do I... I really thought you could. How do you... I think we've already looked at this, but
simply know there are the board, the mud with the gauge connectors with the basics of the gauge like
autoloaders
are vital for storing the ammo ejector. Now that we've got the specifics of autoloaders and their pieces covered,
one per autoloader clip combination.
Ammo intakes connect to autoload. Remember, you only need at least one ammo. We now have everything in place to make use of the ammo controller and ammo customizers. The ammo controller can be placed anywhere. With the customizers placed, we are currently firing a stick of gunpowder and no bullet. So let's change that. You can press Q on the controller to bring up the interface for creating a shell. This will show you
the different shells by setting them up individually.
The laser targeter allows the fall-off shot predict. At last, we have finished. Railguns are used to propel high speed.
Okay. So, I thought, is there any simple weapons where you can set up the racks individually? Because I could have sworn you could go like, yeah, and you could go like, oh, I want like 3 of those. Oh, or do I have to? Hang on. Oh, wait on the turret. Hang on. If I clear clips. Oh, we've got the thing lifted up. We disconnect all intakes, right? Then we clear the clips. We then go. Oh dear, sorry. We then go for you. That and then the hollow point. Can I then set that in APS? No. Do I have to do it manually? Is that how that works? It might well be that that's how that works. I just thought it was easier to do. I guess you maybe can't do that then? That's kind of a shame. Right. So how many clips do we have? Because I believe it'll fire from one autoloader at a time. We've got another one coming out the back. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19. So we have 19 autoloaders. So if we have... oh dear. We have 2 of those being... maybe the 2 on the ends being disruptors. And we better do the other side as well while I'm thinking about it. Oh, this is incredibly clunky, but... I guess that's how we have to do it. So you will also be disruptor, disruptor, disruptor. And the ones at the back. Disruptor, and then if we have the inner row. How many is the inner row? 1, including that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had the inner row and the 2 outer ones being solid, right? I think that's right. So these will be the solid armor piercing ones. No, not you. Or a different thing. And then we can, then we could do all unassigned to put the rest on the other type. Then we want these 2 outer ones. Yeah, these 2 outer ones will be primarily focusing on the punch through rounds, but I think someone also said set the target priority to hot blocks. They're sort of targeting the engines, which seems like a good idea to me. These will be Sabo. Hopefully it actually alternates them a bit and not just run them one at a time, but I don't know. And then the altitude. I really do think though you could you could set the shell order with the regular ones. I'm really surprised you apparently can't do that. Hollow point. All unassigned. It should be roughly even between the 2. Subobject mode. Oh there. Get the turrets installed and we'll check them on our Megalodon target. God mode turned on, of course, so we'll break it. We'll also quickly install the reinforcements for down there. Oops, I just took it out by accident. Yep, Right, put that back. I guess it's, I suppose the idea is to keep EMP away. I guess these want to be surge protectors. Sort of little columns that we're building. It's hard as possible for them to get knocked out by surge travelling through the hull. Right. No, what? No. Oh, I clicked on the book thing. Oh. Oh, that's the point. If I do that, is that... Okay, that's something I need to keep an eye out for the other one then. Because I do not want to be blocking the air pumps from actually working. They're supposed to be buoyant inside those turret heads. Right, there. Oh. Mode it on. Still Striders. Oh yeah, that was something I meant to bring up. The Kronos is gone. It's just not here anymore. I guess they've just taken it out of the game. But, yeah, it's not actually there anymore. Which was interesting to discover. Definitely got Godly mode on. Oh, that looked like a little bit of EMP. Okay, the disruptors are working then. I don't know how long they knock the hull out for, but the shields out for, but clearly at least some time. Oh, that did some damage. My initial indications are that they're doing more damage, but I'm honestly not too sure. There's definitely some that are going through and punching out entire sections at any rate. Well, there's certainly damage happening at any rate. Consider that to be working reasonably well. Be a little bit better once it's actually moving and keeping this thing within its gun range. Because its gun's filled with fire anyway. Anyway, we'll try that for now. That seems to be working to some degree, so... right, what are we on next? Right, missiles. So, drag was something that was brought up, because of these big flat sides. Not quite sure there's much we could do there, beyond redesigning this. I suppose we could... We could slope it up at the bottom. I don't know if the drag in the water is worse than the drag in the air, if it's identical. Where's the water line at the moment? Worryingly high, I would say. Actually, no, once it stabilizes, that yellow bit is actually not a bad waterline. Okay. think we may just have to deal with the fact there's going to be some drag. Right. Section open. What may be a problem here is the fact that I think currently they're going to be having to leap out of the water. So we'll have to design them with that in mind. The other thing is, do we want to go for huge missiles? Or just large ones? Oh, it's about the right width for huge missiles. We're going to have 4 large launchers at the front. Oh, these will have to move up on there. How wide are these? These are 4. Or I could have a lot more large ones. We'll maybe go for large. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh yeah, we got 5. Okay. So let's go. That's ought to have quite a fearsome forward volley after all. Go back to there. The other question as well is, do we want to... Are we going to want ejectors? Because if so, we might have to slightly change how we... I think we are going to want ejectors, right? Because we need to stagger the launch of these things to get them to come out of the water. So... Well, not stagger. We need to give them a kick on launch to get them out of the water. So... Let's split these with a gap of 1 between each one. Come on. Oh. Come on, disconnect. Right. These, I forgot. These will be using general processing power, so I'll add some more processing cards down the side. The alternative is they could be torpedo launchers, but they wouldn't need... They could be torpedo launchers, they would not need the thing, and they could fire very large, very scary volley. But then again, no, because we're going for solid shot types, because we don't want them to be knocked out as easily. So, we then have a connector in between each row. And we'll also go for a vertical column as well. Oh, although we'll need to take the connector out in a minute now I think about it, because that's where the ejectors want to go. Put these at the back. Ow, looks like I've caught something. So I caught my foot on the chair, it's got a bit of a sharp bit on it. Right. Can we fit another one on top there? No, because it's going to be above the deck. Okay, that's fine. Look at that. Controller. Fire add-on. Friend or foe, right. Get these racks installed. I like that sort of nose that you're going to go for a decoy when you build them small. Which gives you a bit of a decoy design. Don't know why that one extended into a missile and these ones didn't though. That's interesting. And what we do need is ejectors. These are kind of be a little bit VLS-y, but not quite. But they will be ejected upwards quite quite steeply. Right. How do I... should be able to set that right. Sure, anyway, right, so we will want, yeah, variable thruster. Is that a reasonably sane setup? Right, so here we want a remote guidance. The general purpose processing power follows the missile. Okay. Do we need predicted guidance? We'll do that just in case. I don't know whether I need the two. And do we really need much else? Because we're doing a thumper head, right? Durable aerodynamic head increase impact damage of the missile. So if we just do reinforced body. Yeah. That is effectively our sort of kinetic. Fuel. So let's check a few things. So lifetime 40 seconds. That's our flight time. 33 seconds of thrust. Okay. Oh, a 1 turn would be good. We actually will delay the 1 turn's activation for half a second. The thruster will have a 1 second delay. Just output we could potentially... Is that going to affect our damage though? Where is our damage? Oh, this such damage for each meter of a second in speed. Ah. So we could increase our flight time so that we get the full time flying. But we will probably lose some speed for it. 130 times 555, we've got about 55,000. We'll make this weapon 2. We'll have a quick try, and we also need to work out how to set it to kick upwards, because it's got ejectors. It should be able to do that. Yeah, why can't I set the... Does it not do elevation anymore? They didn't change that, did they? 40125. Swarm volley. I do need to get it to eject upwards. Why is there no option for that? Hello? Is it because they've got the hatches? I take the hatches off. Does that change anything? It could be the type of launcher, potentially. Ah, okay. Might be this doesn't quite work anyway, but... That's going to be a bit of a pain if we can't shield them, but we can potentially do some stuff here. Okay, well, I can launch at least. If I potentially put some armor in between them, does that do anything? Cause any problems? We could also potentially build the launcher and then tilt it back, like build it on the turret. That is an option. Not one I'd like to do, but it's one we could. If we were to potentially build our own sort of armor here. Because we could build our own little armoured cap that swings open. If we were to go, say, something like that. To make it a bit harder for something to get through and damage them. Although I suppose it's not too critical anyway, because they're not explosive, but... No, they do get caught. Okay. Now we could potentially go for the second plan, now to be torpedoes. That is an option. And just give them the doors. Yeah, we'll maybe do that. Okay. Actually, although they're going to lose a lot of damage. Probably will, right? Hang on. So current speed, max speed, is 123 meters a second. We sort these out to be torpedo propellers. Max speed is 54. It'd still be like 25,000 damage. I think at that point you'd be ideally just having explosives on board, but it's explosive damage what they do. It would be more. Not that I couldn't do both, right? It still makes them tougher. Yeah, it'd still be quite a lot tougher like that. 48,600. If I swap them all for reinforced body, does that change much? No, it doesn't increase the armor. Can maybe try that. Don't really need a 1 ton at that point. That could be, I really don't know whether they need prediction guidance or not. That's one of the things that really is making me wonder at the moment. Let's go for that. Still mirrored, yeah. Let's add the hatches back on. Oop. The right way round would help. Also add some AI next to the thing. Just need a controller. Beaver, your altitude bracket will be up to 10. Don't want you trying to fire torpedoes at planes. And let's save these torpedoes and swap. Thump. Dash HE Torps. See how well a combined one works. Oh, he's trying to shoot them, but it's only intercepting some. Or is it intercepting a lot of them? Actually, if they can intercept the whole swarm, then they need work. Actually, not even fast enough in general, are they? Okay. Oh, we're sinking. Oh dear. Maybe starting to hit some buoyancy issues. Right, so at present, torpedoes need work. Ammunition access seems adequate, though, to refuel them all. Or to reload them all. So... Oh, right, yeah, its fuel duration is going to be way too high now, isn't it? That's fine, so we can go... well, for one thing, we can do... Use free space for reinforcement. How many seconds duration of fuel have we got now? 31 seconds, yeah. If anything, they need to be faster, don't they? So... Mind you, we don't get much in speed. 55 meters a second. Let's try that again. Okay, it's the little missile interceptors under the water that are getting a lot of them by the looks of it. Lambs is hitting some. Oh, ballast tanks, that's what we're missing. Oh, we have some hits. Any severe damage done? Some damage done, yeah. Okay. Yeah, ballast tanks. Knew there's something else they needed. Right, but where do we put that? Maybe one of the fins. They probably don't need two necessarily. Ballast tanks. Depth and buoyancy. Yeah, okay. Right, depth. We'll go for 5. Can we get some engines at some point as well, so we can... Well, some propellers might be sent to dry air quite soon as well, so we can see how it actually manoeuvres in combat. Because again, they were mentioning... Someone was mentioning the drag, and it's like, yeah, that is going to be a bit of an issue. They do float quite near the surface at 5, I noticed, but... Maybe they need to be deeper, maybe more like 10. Yeah, they definitely need to be deeper if they're attracting the airborne anti-munition defences. And that was a hit out of that volley. It's definitely having some sinking issues. May need some more ballast somewhere. Well, not ballast, something to float it a bit higher. Let's try 10. I'm entirely sure that did actually copy all launch pads. Yeah, those little intercept torpedoes are causing problems. Oh boy. That's some interesting hits. So that volley hit them reasonably well. They are getting hits. I'm a little uncertain about this ballast tank. They seem to be sitting under the water better when they didn't have one at all. Might even just try taking it out again, but... Imagine they're doing okay now. Yeah, they seem to like to leap a little bit. We could always put some missiles in the air as well to mostly distract their own fire. Yeah, in all honesty though, I might swap that out for fins, I think. They seem to float reasonably well even without them out of the tank. If the next round goes horribly, I'll put them back in. There's a round of disruptors hitting it. Oh yeah, the AI. I should set that to target the hot watch, shouldn't I? Target prioritization? No. No, they're definitely more vulnerable without that. Okay, so the ballast tanks were working. Slows the turn rate, but... also, I think that's it. No. Yeah, that might be a problem we have to solve, though, the fact that it's not floating properly at the moment. It's starting to get so heavy it's sinking. We are starting to add more internal weight as we add more and more systems in. But yes, I think that's where we'll call it for today. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. I'll continue to work on it. If you guys have any suggestions for the ship, things we could add, things we could change for what we've done, I'll certainly keep those in mind. And yeah, catch you guys all again next time where we'll start working on whatever next comes up. We'll probably cap this off properly for one thing. Yeah, see you guys all again next time. Goodbye.